Hello guys, Splicer here. Now for those of you that weren't able to get onto the closed beta, I've put together a quick review of what I thought were the best parts and parts that need to be improved from launch. Now to be honest with you, I had an opinion on this game from the first day I played it, and it wasn't going to be the same review as what I'm giving now. To be honest, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the game, so it throws you into this large open world and almost gives you no direction on where to go. And the only way I can describe it is it sort of felt like end game GTA. So you're just sort of walking, running, driving around endlessly, just jumping into side missions, or even the main missions, and just doing them because you want the extra points, or skill points, or just supplies, or just because you're a bit bored and want something to do. However, the more I started playing it, the more I realised how much this game can offer. So when I started playing it the next day, I realised I was actually looking forward to playing it, and I didn't think I was going to because, to be honest, I was a little bit bored the first time I played it. But coming around to the second time, I then realised that the freedom that I thought was boring is actually gave me the freedom to do pretty much what I wanted to do, including awesome stuff like skydiving out of a helicopter and sort of hugging the side of a mountain as if you're almost wearing a wingsuit before deploying your chute last minute. But the things they have got right and are extremely satisfying is the weapon play and the weapon dynamics. So when you're firing your weapon, it feels and sounds fantastic. And you always get that bit of satisfaction when you take out an enemy and it gives that little sound, like a little thud sound, as if you've actually hit a bit of meat. And it's a little bit satisfying, although a little bit sadistic perhaps. But no, it's awesome. And I think that's really... It gives a bit of depth to the game, and it gives you a reason to go and actually try and take out the enemies. Now, one aspect of the game that is also pretty cool, and it gives a large advantage to playing stealth, is that if you're not identified by the enemy, you can pretty much take them all out in one shot. Whereas if they know you're there, it's going to take sort of 3 or 4 shots to take them out. So again, coming back to that satisfaction part, crawling around a corner and then just taking out 5 guys one shot each time, or potentially 2 guys in one shot, is awesome. Obviously, it goes without saying that the massive weapon customization, the massive character customization, all of the different vehicles and aircraft that you can fly, and the entire map itself are big advantages to the game. And they are really, really good. I would like to see a little bit, although you can make your ghost unique, you can make your ghost unique from the beginning. I would like to see more items that you could earn specifically for things that you do. For example, flying a helicopter for so long, you would then get something to do with aviation, like an item, or 500 headshots, that sort of thing, where you get specific bits of items for things that you've put in effort to earn. Whereas at the moment, you're going to get extra items for killing major bosses, which, to be honest, is a sort of route everybody's going to go down anyway, so everyone's going to have the same items. Also, the weapon customization, although extremely vast, it does give Ubisoft the platform to advance it past launch. So at the moment you've got lots of different paint presets, and you can individually paint different parts of the weapon, although each individual part can only get sort of 3 or 4 different paints, whereas the main weapon can get, well, they've got several on there. So it leaves the opportunity to put engravings on them, sort of custom emblems that you've got, or logos that you can create and put on there, and it really opens up the things they can do, because the game mechanics are already there. From the legendary weapons you can get, they've already got inscriptions and extra things on there that you'd like to see and personalise yourself. One thing I was also worried about was the genericness of the side missions. So there would be the same things, just in different areas and different sort of cartel areas, which, to be honest, is partly true. However, because this game is open, it gives you several different options. You can then approach these side missions in several different ways. So for example, supply convoys, there's so many different options and awesome ways in which you can approach this. Like I did a video before, I've taken it out super easy with C4. You can attack it with a helicopter, you can ram it off the road with cars, or drive a boat off the river straight into the convoy. Literally anything, you can do anything. And the more unique thing you think up will probably be more awesome. So having that flexibility in the gameplay actually gives more depth to the game on a game that is already massive. One thing I would like to see change is that the AI at the moment is extremely predictable. You know exactly where they're going to go, what they're not, and what they are going to do. And equally, when you go to a built up area or a cartel rich environment, all the enemies are always in the same positions every time you go there. So once you've done it once or twice, you pretty much know where the enemies are going to be, and then you can just take them out one by one, or even just avoid them completely. The same as if you play solo, your AI counterparts don't really bring much to the table. The best part and what they can offer is when you're in a vehicle or a helicopter and they fire off the side whilst you're flying or piloting it, which is actually quite effective if you just grab a helicopter and just fly in circles around an enemy area, and your team will literally just pick off all the enemy in that area. But on the topic of your partners, it's very clear that this game is built for co-op. I played it in co-op and in single player over this beta, and it really came alive in co-op. Like I said before about all the unique things you can do, it just makes it more interesting when you've got 4 people that are all doing these unique things and trying out new ways to do things differently. So for example, in one of the missions, one of the guys jumped out the helicopter while I was flying. He then dived into the heart of an enemy area, jumped in their helicopter and took off, and then we took off with both our helicopters whilst being shot at by the enemy. But it was just awesome that I'm actually watching this gameplay unfold whilst flying above it happening. Equally, the communication that you have with your team members will really outsmart the AI pretty easily. And if you use those tactics, you can take on a boss relatively easy, and you probably won't even get hit once. That being said about bosses, I played all the missions again in Ghost mode, on the difficulty Ghost. And to be honest, it didn't really make that much of a difference to the game. The only impact that I saw that changed it was that you died after getting hit less times, which is a predictable way to make the difficulty harder. But I'd like to see potentially more enemies, more active enemies, or potentially enemies that come and hunt you down and react differently. But the only change that I saw was that, yeah, if I took 2 or 3 rounds, then I'll die quicker. But as you can see in the footage behind, most of it is filmed in Ghost mode difficulty. You can take out the enemies just as quick with one shot, whether it's on Ghost or not. Now, I'm not saying do what the Division did, which is make the enemies bullet sponges and the hardest difficulty, but just potentially make them more evasive and use the cover better to force you to play the game better. But to be honest, guys, that's really it. I really did not expect my review to be as positive as it was. Even in the build-up to the game, we've had it before with the Division, where on the announcement of the game it looks fantastic and there's a build up for it for years and years and years, and then it came out and it was a bit of a disappointment. I thought it would be exactly the same for this game, and when I first started playing I just thought, here we go again, it's Division from the beginning, we're going to have to wait out for patches and DLCs to truly immerse ourselves in the game. However, the more I then played it on top of that, the more I realised having this open world and having this no direction was actually the best part of the game, and it gave you the opportunity to do what you could and what you pleased. And it's only waiting to see on launch of the game, when they've opened up the entire map to us, how much you truly can do with the vehicles and equipment available to you. So I'm pretty much hyped for this game. One bit of advice would be, use the time before launch to set up your squad, get guys together that you're going to be doing co-op with, because it'll really enrich the game for you. So that's it, guys. Get pre-ordering of the game. Please subscribe to my channel because I'll keep you guys updated on any future news that's going, any updates that are coming out. And thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Escort has been destroyed. Oh, that was messy as shit.
Commo gear's in good shape. We'll pass on